In 1997, a group of miners in Nevada were digging deep into a limestone quarry when they stumbled upon something extraordinary. A colossal skeleton, not of a dinosaur, but of a being over 13 feet tall with a skull eerily human-like. They called archaeologists for help, but before anyone could arrive, the FBI swooped in, cordoned off the site, and the bones vanished without a trace. The hum of their drills still echoes in their memories, though the story was buried deep. Welcome to our science documentary podcast, where we unravel the world's most controversial mysteries with evidence, theories, and revelations that'll keep you hooked. Today, we're diving into a tale that flips everything you've ever believed. Dinosaurs, those towering titans said to have ruled the Earth, might never have existed. No independent archaeologist has ever found their fossils. No meteor shower wiped them out, and some of their designs, like spiky bodies that defy mating, make no sense. So who cooked up the dinosaur legend? Why? Or could it be a cover-up for a world once ruled by giants? Buckle up, because this journey will take you through sealed-off quarries, controlled labs, and conspiracies someone doesn't want you to uncover. Are you brave enough to hear the truth? Thank you for listening to the Real World channel. Please subscribe to follow more videos about secrets in the dark, and let's explore together. Let's start with what we've all been taught since childhood. Dinosaurs roamed the Earth millions of years ago, from the Triassic to the Cretaceous, a sprawling cast of creatures that filled books, museums, and imaginations. There's Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king of predators, a 40-foot-long behemoth with a gaping maw of jagged teeth, some 8 inches long, capable of crushing bone with a bite force of 12,000 pounds. Its tiny arms a quirky contrast to its muscular legs and whip-like tail. Then there's Stegosaurus, a lumbering herbivore stretching 30 feet, its back adorned with massive kite-shaped plates, some 3 feet tall, that might have flushed red with blood to intimidate foes or woo mates, paired with a spiked tail called a thagomizer that could shatter skulls. Velociraptor, smaller but deadly, stood about 6 feet long, its sleek, feathered body built for speed, armed with a 6-inch sickle claw on each foot that slashed with surgical precision. Triceratops, a 30-foot tank of a beast, sported 3 facial horns, 2 above its eyes like spears, 1 on its snout, and a bony frill that flared out like a shield, perfect for charging rivals. Brachiosaurus towered at 50 feet, its 30-foot neck craning skyward like a giraffe on steroids, its massive pillar-like legs shaking the ground with each step. Spinosaurus, a 50-foot aquatic hunter, boasted a 6-foot sail of spines along its back, slicing through rivers with crocodile-like jaws. Ankylosaurus, a 25-foot armored fortress, was covered in bony plates and wielded a clubbed tail that could smash through anything in its path. Pteranodon, not a dinosaur but a flying cousin, soared with a 20-foot wingspan, its crested head slicing the air like a living kite. Diplodocus stretched an astonishing 80 feet, its whip-thin tail cracking like a sonic boom, while its peg-like teeth stripped leaves from treetops. And don't forget Plesiosaurus, a marine reptile with a serpentine neck and flippers, gliding through ancient oceans like a prehistoric Loch Ness monster. These are just a handful of the hundreds of dinosaur species cataloged in books, over 1,000 named types, from the tiny, bird-like Microraptor, barely 2 feet long with iridescent feathers, to the titanic Argentinosaurus, a 100-foot sauropod weighing up to 100 tons, its footsteps like earthquakes. Textbooks paint a vivid picture: T-Rex roaring through misty jungles, its bellow rattling the ferns, Stegosaurus grazing in sunlit plains, its plates glinting like solar panels, Velociraptor darting through underbrush, feathers ruffling as it pounced. Kids like me pored over illustrations, Ankylosaurus hunkered down like a spiky boulder, Spinosaurus slicing through waves, Pteranodon wheeling above cliffs. Museums amplify the tale, their halls filled with towering skeletons, the wind whistling past as if narrating their reign. They say a meteor shower 66 million years ago ended it all, leaving fossils strewn across continents. But pause and think, things get strange. Who found these bones? Independent archaeologists, those not tied to governments or big institutes, almost never report dinosaur finds. Famous discoveries, like that first T-Rex in Montana in 1902, always trace back to teams funded by giants: the Smithsonian, the University of Chicago, or the American Museum of Natural History. Why don't solo diggers ever hit pay dirt? Are they blocked, or is there nothing to unearth? Let's zoom in on these dinosaur fossils. We're told thousands exist. Brachiosaurus femurs 6 feet long, conjuring a beast as tall as a 3-story house. Allosaurus tracks with 3-toed claws gouged into rock like a predator's calling card. Diplodocus vertebrae lined up like train cars. But check public records. Most aren't verified outside the mainstream. Independent researchers like Joe Taylor of Texas's Mount Blanco Fossil Museum claim many museum fossils are plaster fakes, cast from scant real bits or pure imagination. His hammers clink on plaster sounds like a challenge. Taylor faced lawsuits for questioning their authenticity. If dinosaur bones aren't as plentiful as claimed, who's crafting them and why? Now the meteor shower that supposedly ended it all. Scientists point to Mexico's 93-mile-wide Chicxulub crater as proof of a 66-million-year-old impact, a blast that cloaked the sky in dust, crashed ecosystems, and killed 75% of life. The earth-shaking roar lingers in textbooks. But wait, no direct proof confirms this. Iridium-rich layers blamed on a meteor could stem from volcanic eruptions like India's Deccan Traps. Geologists like Charles Ginenthal argue Chicxulub's a natural feature, twisted to fit the dinosaur story. No meteor? Then what killed them, or were they ever here? Dive into dinosaur biology. Stegosaurus's 3-foot plates. Did they doom mating attempts, turning love into a spiky fiasco? The clatter of failed romance baffles. Experts say they bent or rolled over, but fossils don't show it. Brachiosaurus's 30-foot neck. How did blood reach its brain without a heart the size of a car? Spinosaurus's sail, sleek in water, but how did it swim without tipping? Ankylosaurus's armor. Did it lumber or just sit like a spiked rock? Velociraptor's claws. Lethal, but fragile for real fights? Diplodocus's tail. Could it really whip at supersonic speeds without snapping? Plesiosaurus's neck. Graceful, but practical for hunting? These quirks don't just nag. They question if dinosaurs lived or were pieced from fantasy bones. If dinosaurs are fiction, who wrote their epic and why? Imagine this. Their tale hides a world of giants. Back to Nevada, 1997. Those miners weren't alone. In 1891, Strand magazine reported a 12-foot Irish skeleton, its skull twice human size. In 1932, Lovelock Cave yielded 8 to 10-foot skeletons with giant tools, the cave's wind moaning their tale. These finds vanished, dismissed, or seized. Why? Do they threaten the dinosaur script? Ancient myths hint at giants. The Bible's Nephilim, angel-human hybrids, strode pre-flood Earth, their steps thundering. Greek titans ruled before their fall. Nevada's red-haired giants, 10 feet tall with fiery locks, terrified natives. These stories span continents. If giants lived, why the silence? Did dinosaurs overwrite them, erasing a rival race? Who's behind it? In the 1800s, as Richard Owen named dinosaurs, Darwin's evolution shook science. Giant bones, like Lovelock's, risked upending it. If humans once towered, coexisting with modern beasts, timelines crumble. So the Royal Society, Smithsonian, even CIA or NASA rewrote the past. They took odd bones, mammoth, whale, or giant, and spun prehistoric monsters. T-Rex rose as a fake star, giant skulls stashed away. History became their blockbuster. It deepens. In 1912, the Smithsonian allegedly trashed thousands of giant skeletons, crates splashing into Virginia's sea, waves swallowing truth. Conspiracists say it's a purge, dinosaur fakes filling the void. NASA's 1972 Gobi Desert photos, 33-foot tombs, not tracks, were buried as natural. These powers turned history into a dinosaur epic, sidelining giants. Who's hiding what? Picture giants ruling Earth, 10 to 16 feet tall, heaving ton-heavy stones, their crashes echoing. They built villages of ancient trees and granite, nestled in valleys or caves like Lovelock. They snapped mammoth bones bare-handed, hunted with flint axes twice human size, their sharpening screeches filling forests. They raised wonders, Baalbek's 1,200-ton stones, and roared across miles. Did smaller humans slay them, steel clashing in the night? Or did a flood, not a meteor, erase them, waters roaring away their legacy? Why hide their bones? At its peak, if dinosaurs are a lie, giants are the truth. They built stone cities, hammers ringing, mapped stars on cave walls, winds whispering their lore. The dinosaur myth shields those rewriting history, Smithsonian, NASA, CIA. In 2020, a Peruvian lone digger found a 3-foot giant skull, only to be jailed, the find lost. handcuffs clicked a warning. Dinosaurs, fake? No indie fossils, no meteor proof, biology shaky. Brachiosaurus's neck, Velociraptor's claws, all suspect. Who spun it? Scientists. Powerhouses like Smithsonian or NASA, burying giants to prop evolution. Why? To lock history tight. The truth hides in sealed quarries, locked vaults, or where giant echoes rumble. Hear footsteps in the dark. Not T-Rex, but a towering force. Run or face it. History's lying, and the real tale waits in shadow. And here's the kicker. Those who dreamed up the dinosaur myth, those 19th century masterminds and their modern successors, must be having the last laugh. Picture them in some shadowy room, clinking glasses, chuckling at how they've pulled the wool over the world's eyes. They've spun a tale so wild, so vivid, that we've all bought into their matrix. A dazzling illusion of roaring T-Rexes and soaring pteranodons, while the real story, the giants who might have shaped our past, lies buried under layers of fabricated fossils and textbook lies. They've turned history into their private joke, and we're all still applauding the punchline, blissfully unaware we're the ones being played.